What's up, future anteaters? So, in case you haven't already heard it enough, within these SPOP days, congrats on making it to UC Irvine. Right now you're probably thinking, who is this girl, why is she talking, and why do I care? Well, I'm also an anteater. I'm about to tell you one of the first lessons that I learned, and plus a couple of my friends after being here for a year in college, because they call us first years, we're not actually freshmen anymore. UCI student for the first quarter, and it's on race and ethnicity and basically like learning about diversity. So some of you may be prepared for this change in demographics that you're about to experience. For others, your demographics won't change very much at all, and in some other cases, you're basically going to have like a whole different change and you will not be ready for it. From my own personal experience, I can say that I was not expecting the dramatic change in the races that surrounded me at school. However, I was able to adjust very well. That can't be said for everyone though. Some will experience what is known as culture shock because their surroundings change so drastically. It's like when students get homesick, some of us get homesick more often than others, or it's like we get really, really homesick, so kind of that concept. Anyway, coming from the high desert where I lived all my life, the ethnicities that surrounded me at school, everywhere I went there, were white, Mexican, some African Americans, and very, very few Asians. So when I stepped foot onto UC Irvine, I came to realize how ignorant I was culture-wise, especially when it came down to Asians. Like most Americans, when I saw people with like slanted eyes like this, I automatically would say, oh, they're Chinese, and I came to realize that that's not true. And since most of my friends are now mainly Asian, I no longer view them as such. I know that they're Filipinos or Koreans or Japanese or Vietnamese or Chinese, and the list just goes on. I also came to realize that making generalizations like these is wrong, so I changed my ways. It might not be evident to the rest of the world, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that I know, and that's what makes all the difference. Your culture doesn't define you, you define your culture, but you can have it, but you don't have to take my word for it.
Hispanics and Filipinos.
Or Caucasian.
Asian and Hispanic.
Mexican, Persian, white, Asian, Indian,
Filipino, African American, and white.
We're white.
Mexican or African American.
We're Latina.
Asian. Mostly Filipino.
Filipino and Mexican. Are Mexican, Asian, or Hispanic. In a sense, I guess the majority of ethnicity of my friends did change when I came to UCI. I'm just from different cultures. I have more Hispanic friends now than I did before, and maybe less, African American friends as I did back at home.
When I came to UCI, I did meet a lot more Caucasian people. At my school, it was mainly Hispanic and African American. So being exposed to this new culture was very different for me, and it took a while for me to get used to. But I love the people here at UCI, and everybody I've met has been really nice.
Now the majority of my friends are Filipino, Hispanic, Korean, and Vietnamese.
I did get to meet a lot of people from different ethnicities and different cultures, like Asians, Caucasians, Pakistanis. No, most of my friends are still Filipino and Mexicans. Probably little changes are just different Asians.
Because it's UCI and there are a lot of Asian people, I still predominantly hang out with Asian people, but there are a few exceptions. I'm finding myself hanging out with Hispanic people.
No, my friend variety didn't change. It's still the same. It's still Mexicans and Filipinos.
When I came to UCI, the majority of my friends were Asian. About 90% of them were. The other 10% was made up of white or Hispanic.
My friends went from being mostly white to being Filipino, Asian, Pakistani.
Since I came to Irvine, most of my friends are Caucasian.
Friends at UCI have been pretty much consistent with the same races as my friends home. A couple more Asian friends.
Majority of my friends at UCI are Asian, Hispanic, and now white.
No, not really, because here I hang out with mostly Filipinos and Hispanics.
My perspective about race and ethnicity didn't really change when it came to UCI. I continue to believe that different races can live together, and different races, people of different races can be friends and just live a happy, peaceful life.
I learned that it doesn't kind of matter what religion, ethnicity, nationality, whatever there is, like a person is. Like, a person should be defined by, like, personality, and I think if you click with someone and they click with you, then you should totally be friends.
The main lesson I learned about race was that change isn't bad. Going from having mostly white friends to having a lot more diverse friends, I learned that there's not really any difference between the two.
It's like my first lesson about race and ethnicity. Didn't really change because, you know, like, what I thought was what it is, and it still is. Like, Asians are Asians, and Mexicans are Mexicans.
Hard to be the majority because UCI is predominantly Asian. It's harder to stand out, like stand out in a crowd or when you're applying for jobs or certain things. But yeah, I learned that diversity can help.
But one thing I learned from here is that I've learned to appreciate my culture and the Asian culture, and actually different other cultures besides Asians, more and more respect to them and their culture. It doesn't matter what ethnicity you are, you will find like really smart people and really nice people anywhere you go.
First things I learned about race and ethnicity was that there's just so much to learn about all these different cultures and all these different people that are just really like amazing.
When I came to UCI, one of the first lessons I learned about race and ethnicity was that you have to keep an open mind. Sometimes the typical stereotype is true, sometimes it isn't, and I learned a lot of different ones that were sometimes true and sometimes weren't, but overall I learned to keep an overall mind and not to judge people before I got to know them.
Race doesn't matter. We're all human, we're all people, we're all college students, and it doesn't matter if my friends are Asian or white, African American, or Hispanic, because we're all experiencing things, and no matter what color you are, what race you are, what ethnicity you are, we're all having fun and having a college experience.
I am a first year.
I am a second year.
I am a third year.
I'm 7/8 Filipina and 1/8 Chinese.
I am Caucasian.
I am Chicana.
I am 75% Filipino and 25% Chinese.
I am Korean.
I'm full Filipino. I am Vietnamese American.
White or Caucasian?
I am Mexican.
I am Filipino and Spanish.
I am Pakistani.
I am Filipino.
I am Mexican.
I am half white and half Persian.
I am Hassan Ahmed.
I'm Katie Mensing.
I am Katrina Dela Cruz.
I am Keisha Porcini.
I am Ariana Tabloid.
I am Samantha Yukiko.
I am Patrick Daniels Riggers.
I am Angeli Vance.
I'm Gregory Johns.
I am Andrea Urza.
I am Maria Armenta. I am Marie Tuplano.
I am Jesse Arch.
And I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater. I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater. An anteater. Dot.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I am an anteater.
I eat ants.